So, the house is under construction and the timber frame walls are in place. Now, when it comes to the decision about which insulation to select, should it be a glass mineral wool product, such as Knauf Insulation Crown Frame Therm, or should the choice be a rigid foam board, the type normally referred to as PIR? Not quite sure? Well, just sit back for a few minutes and watch the following demonstrations. They were both installed by the same skilled fitter, who is experienced in both products, and we think that what you see will leave you in no doubts whatsoever. But let's start at the beginning, shall we? And let's just say that it's far easier to stack your car or van with rolls of glass mineral wool than it is with unwieldy sheets of PIR. In fact, very often you'll find you have to cut the PIR rigid boards before you can even load them. Then the issue of carrying it inside and maybe upstairs. Now that you've seen it, which would you rather do? Okay, this is the completed insulated wall. Actually, it is a genuine wall in a genuine room on a real building project. The studs are set at standard 600mm centres, with a couple that are slightly narrower. There is also the added complication of a sloping dormer ceiling. The total area of the wall is approximately 10 square metres. The challenge was to insulate this wall using 140mm Knauf Insulation Crown Frame Therm glass mineral wool roll, and also with a 70mm PIR rigid foam board. And in order to see which was the quickest, we timed them. So now here's our challenge to you. How long do you think it took to complete each installation? When you've decided, just write down your 2 estimated times on the time trial paper provided. We'll be giving a prize to the person with the nearest correct answers. With the Crown Frame Therm, all that's required is just a roll and a half. Using the PIR board, however, he'll need no less than 3 big sheets. And in terms of thermal performance, the 140mm Crown Frame Therm glass mineral wool has a higher level of insulation than the 70mm PIR. The first thing you'll notice is how easy it is to cut the Crown Frame Therm, and also that you don't need to be too accurate with your cutting. But do make sure it is not undersized. Normally you wouldn't need to cut the roll to fit widthwise, but this first set of studs are at non-standard centres. Just look at the fitting methods involved with the PIR board though. Here, accurate measuring and cutting is a vital, if time-consuming necessity. The natural flexibility of Crown Frame Therm glass mineral fibres allows it to mould itself into the shape of the space to be insulated. So it's not only easy, it's very quick. Even getting behind the noggins and the cables is not a problem, and you can see that it fits snugly into the recess, leaving no thermal gaps at all. This helps to ensure there are no voids in the insulation layer that could lead to unintended cold bridging in the building. When he comes to the straightforward drops, fitting Crown Frame Therm is even quicker, because you just need to press it home and then simply cut it to length while it's in place, while any small gaps are easy to fill in afterwards. Already, the Knauf Insulation Crown Frame Therm wall is well on its way. Look how far behind he is with the PIR board. Every piece has to be carefully measured and cut. Every length of cable and every noggin creates a struggle and another time-consuming delay. When he gets to the sloping ceiling under the eaves, it still poses no problem with the Crown Frame Therm glass mineral wool. You don't have to measure it. Just size it with your eye, trim it roughly to shape, and press it into place. Just take a look at the clock. Can you believe it? With crown frame therm glass mineral wool, the entire wall was completed in just 7 minutes. While after 7 minutes, the PIR installation has hardly got going. By the time he had cut and fitted all the pieces, including those awkward shapes under the roof, it had taken him over 30 minutes, over 4 times as long. And even then, he had still not completed that complicated corner with the rebated board. You've got to admit it. The advantages of using Knauf Insulation's crown frame therm glass mineral wool are certainly impressive. But just to impress you even more, here are another few facts that you might like to be aware of. Crown frame therm is a resilient, non-combustible glass mineral wool roll. It's safe to install in any situation. Being a rigid board, PIR is more difficult to fit behind the pre-installed cables and noggins, around awkward shapes and in narrow areas. So, unlike the crown frame therm glass mineral, it is hard to ensure that the PIR installation has no holes or gaps, especially in awkward areas that are difficult to fit. And this in turn could compromise the overall thermal performance of the wall. And finally, from an environmental viewpoint, the crown glass mineral wool products also score highly, because not only are they resource efficient, being manufactured with over 55% recycled glass, but their manufacture has a low impact on the environment when compared to other insulation products. Knauf Insulation Crown Glass Mineral Wool is classified as having 0 ozone depletion potential and 0 global warming impact. So, now you've seen the evidence with your own eyes, is there really any comparison? Let's leave the last word to the man who did the job.
When you use a roll product, with it being a lot more flexible and a lot easier to fit, you don't need to measure it to cut it. You can just generally do it by eye. Using a PIR board takes a lot more time and is a harder product to fit. When carrying the rolls, you can carry 2 in one go, and they are very manipulatable because they're not a big product. You can get them through tight spaces if need be. You can even pop them through open windows to get access to the apartments if there are blockages on the staircase. With a PIR board, you're very restricted. You might even struggle just getting them up the stairs alone. If you had to gain access off the scaffolding or other methods which we have used, you do have to cut these boards down, which obviously will incorporate a lot more waste. Over the 11 years I've been using these products, I would say that using a PIR board is a lot harder and a lot less practical to use than a mineral roll. Glass mineral wool rolls can be fitted approximately 4 times quicker than a PIR board can be.